use a timer in Zoom, all you need to do is on your computer, log into Zoom, and I'm just going to show you on my account. I'm just going to say new meeting, but you would go over here to join the meeting that you wanted to join, and you just would go into that meeting. So I'm just going to do a new meeting, and it's going to open up Zoom, and I'm going to have the audio on, and I'm going to get rid of these captions. There we go. So what you're going to need to do is go to the apps icon there. If it's not showing on the bottom, then you'll go ahead and click this more button, and it will be listed in that area. But I have apps showing, so I will click apps. And because I already have the timer on my account, it's showing under my apps, but you probably won't have it, so you would go to add apps. And what you'll want to do here is to search for the timer. So just type in timer, and you can see there's several options, looks like 4 that I'm seeing right now. But I'm going to go to this one here. This is the one that we use. It's got the little blue square with the clock in it, and I'm just going to click get. And because I already have it, it's showing under my apps, but you'll see that it opens up. I can open up from here, or I can go back to my apps. So I'm just going to click open. And there is the timer. It's opened. And I'm going to make this area just a little bit bigger so you can see it. And a couple of things that you'll want to notice. It defaults, at least on my machine, to 5 minutes. But that's changeable, and I'll show you that in just a minute, how to change that. The first thing you'll want to make sure is that show timer to all is the little button is ticked. It may show it that it's unticked, but you want to just move that little circle over to make sure that show timer to all is selected. You'll also want to make sure that the alarm sound is showing, and it may be a little hard to see, but if the alarm sound wasn't showing, it would. I'm showing now that it's not showing, which means that they wouldn't hear any alarm, and you're seeing now that it says off. But for meetings, you're going to want to have the alarm sound on. And what you'll see here is the selected alarm that will sound. And I'm going to tick this little up arrow here, and it's going to show all of the options that you can use. This is the the sounds, and you can go ahead and play them if you want, just to see what they're like. For instance, Vegas. If I clicked Vegas, let me go back, I could hear what it sounds like. So you can hear all these different sounds. For meetings, we're using the beep one. Again, I will lift this up, and you can just hear what that sounds like. It's very non-intrusive, so that's the one we're going to use, and you can click set. Okay, so again, this defaults to 5 minutes. So if I was going to let someone speak for 5 minutes, all I would need to do now is just click the start button. So you can see that it's counting down from 5. If I was speaking, this was an actual meeting, I would see this over here on my square here. But since I don't have anybody logged into the meeting except me, and I've turned the audio off, well, the audio's on, but because I'm talking through my recorder, it's not going to work. But now you can see up here at the top, it's showing the countdown, and it matches exactly this countdown here. Let's say that someone was, we hardly ever use this part, but I did want to show it to you. Let's say someone is, you started the timer and maybe you felt like they needed to have a little bit more time than what they were allowed, just depending on what they were sharing. There is a pause button here, so I could pause this timer right at 3 minutes and 58 seconds to kind of give them a little more time. You can also click the plus 30 if you think, well, they need 5 minutes, but maybe they are also talking about something that is relevant and you want to extend their time a little bit. Generally, we don't use either one of those, but those options are available. Once we want to start the timer again, I paused it. You just would go and click this little go button, and it would start that timer again. And when it got to 000, they used all their time, you would hear that beep. And you can see I've got a little message here, start a video to show timer in your video, but I'm not going to do that. When the person is done speaking, you would just simply click the X button there, and it would go back to the timer there. You can see there. Now, you have some buttons down here. These are set by the program. There's 1 minute, 3 minute, 10 minute, and then of course it defaulted to 5 minutes. You can change that very easily. All you need to do, if I want to change it to 3 minutes, I can either click in the area where the minutes are and change it to 3. Or you can use these down arrow buttons to make the time go up or down. It's really easy. Let's say you wanted to make it 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You can change this every time you start the timer again. If someone was speaking, for instance, when Ivor says we've been sharing for 3 minutes, but now we're going to drop it down to 2.5 minutes or 2 minutes, you can do that. You do it after you've stopped the timer for a person that was speaking, and then the next one you would change this time. So we would just go back to change whatever time you needed here. I'm going to show you, I'm going to put in here 10 seconds just to show you how that sound and how an end of a timed sound would go. So here we're going to click 10 seconds. Let me do 5. We don't need 10. 5 seconds, okay? So we're going to let somebody talk for 5 seconds. We go ahead and click the start. And you see that it played, or you should have heard the little tone, and then you should have seen the little times up there that started. And now it's showing that they're going over their 5 seconds. To stop that, you just again hit the stop button. Goes back to 5 seconds because that was the last one we set. But if you wanted to change that, again, once somebody has quit talking and you want to change it to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you can do that, or 35 seconds. Just type in there, or alternately you can use the down arrow button or the up arrow button on the minutes, seconds. Unfortunately, you have to go from minutes down into seconds. You can't do 5, you can't just keep hitting the up arrow and it would go 5:01 for the seconds. You just need to change the minutes and then the seconds. And that's it. I mean, that's all you have to do. I'm going to say that someone has to have co-host privileges to be able to use this timer, or host privileges. It's something that is, you can go into. You don't need a whole lot of preparation. You just go in when you're ready to get your meeting. You can see I can close this. And let me show you one thing about it, however. I do want to show you, I'm going to go back to apps, and because I had that open, it already opened up. One thing you might want to note is when I hit the chat button. The chat will, or the participants button will kind of cover up the timer. All you have to do to get back to the timer is just close your chat, go back to apps, and it'll show that right away. If I was in the middle of timing someone, so let's go ahead and I'll show you that as well. Let's say I wanted to look at the chat. I could see the chat there. I could also, what I could do is just go up here where the timer is going and click on the timer, and it would automatically go back to the timer. So if I wanted to get back to the chat, I could do that as well. And you can see there's my message area there at the bottom. If I want to look at my participants now, I've got the participant list, I've got the chat list, and if I want to quickly go back to timer, it's right up there in the top there. So that's basically what it is. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Again, I've showed you everything that's functional about the timer. It's very easy, but it does take a little practice, and you can go in there if you have host privileges, or if you've set up Zoom like I have, where I can have a meeting started. You can play with it. Ivor, you'd be able to go into your meetings and kind of practice with it. And if George or anybody else wanted to practice, maybe you can set up a time just to come in a little bit early to see that. So thanks very much.